Welcome to Rolling Hills Prep and Renaissance Schools STEM Expo 2021.
In the first episode of the series, we will be comparing the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 consoles.
But before we compare the two, we will do a brief history of the consoles.
But before anything, you should make sure to subscribe to our school's YouTube channel. And if you want to check out our channels, they will be in the link in the description below. Take it away, Taylor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's get into the history of the PlayStation first. PlayStation 1 was released in 1994 after Sony tried to partner up with Sega and Nintendo. It was originally made in Japan. PlayStation hit North America in 1995. In 1 year, it sold 2.2 million units. One popular game released on the PlayStation was Crash Bandicoot. It costed $299. PlayStation 2 was released in 2000. It was the first console to have whole DVDs, Blu-ray in fact. Grand Theft Auto was a huge game on the PS2. Grand Theft Auto was released in 2001. Ratchet & Clank was another popular game released in 2002. PlayStation Karaoke was another popular add-on to PlayStation. Released in 2004, this console cost the same amount of money as PlayStation. It was $299. PSP, or PlayStation Portable, was another popular console, such as Game Boy was another popular portable console such as Game Boy, Sega Genesis, and recent such as Nintendo Switch. This was released in 2005. PlayStation 3 was released in 2006 in Japan. People started to get mad because of the prices. The 20 gigabyte edition costed $499, and the regular edition cost $599, almost as the amount of money as PS5. Later, the prices went down to $399. Then, it was released in 2007. Blu-ray discs.
Oh, you froze.
Oh.
You can just redo, I think, then it was released in 2007 in America.
Then it was released in 2007 to America. This console added Blu-ray discs. The controllers then became wireless. One popular game on the PS3 was Uncharted. PlayStation Network was introduced that it could be connected to the PlayStation 3, where you could connect online with friends and multiplayers and chat. In 2011, the PlayStation Network became hacked and was shut down for 3 weeks. The hack cost Sony $171 million. They gave away two free games to all players on each console for an apology. In 2012, the PS Vita was released, another portable console. PlayStation 4 was released in 2013. This introduced a whole new system where digital games could be played while downloading. Also, PlayStation Network was also added onto the PS4. Remote play from the PS Vita could come from the PS4 and its data. Screen recording and screenshots were introduced into the PS4. One popular game on the PS4 release was Last of Us, a zombie survival game. The PS4 cost $400. In 2016, PS4 Slim was released. Then PS4 Pro came out in that same year, a more updated version of the consoles. Later in the year, PS4 VR was released. Huge games that launched on the PS4 in 2018 were games such as Spider-Man PS4, God of War, Red Dead Redemption 2, Far Cry 5, Beat Saber, and more. The PlayStation 5 was released in 2020 of November. This had two different models, regular and digital edition. The consoles play games in 4K and has a lot of faster download speeds. This console has 99% of all games from the PS4, and new games were released such as Spider-Man Miles Morales, Call of Duty Cold War, Horizon Forbidden West, and upcoming games such as Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, Returnal, Resident Evil 8, Pragmata, Hogwarts Legacy, and more. Thanks for listening to a brief history of PlayStation. Now, let's do a brief history of Xbox. Take it away, Joaquin.
The first first ever Xbox was released in 2001 and called the Direct Xbox and later shortened to Xbox. Before the name was officially called Xbox, they had some other names. They had some other ideas for the name. These names included Myth, or Microsoft Interactive Theater, Face, or Full Action Center, VIP, or Virtual Interactive Player, and Mars, short for Microsoft Active Reality Zone. The Xbox colors were decided by the Xbox co-creator, Ed Fries, using only the pen he had left, green. The other reason he only had a green pen is because everybody else in the office would take the other colors. The Xbox was first presented to the public in 2001 by Bill Gates and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Later that year, the first ever Xbox was released. They sold over 1 million units in the first 3 weeks. This was great, seeing how they were competing with the bigger game companies like PlayStation and Nintendo. However, they lost about $4 billion because of the high manufacturing price. Not only that, but they sold it for less money than it cost to manufacture. The manufacturing price was $425 to make, while they only sold it for $300. In 2002, Xbox Live came out. This introduced players to play online, whether it was with friends, family, or just by themselves. 4 years after the original console came out, the Xbox 360 had finally arrived. It cost $300 for the core version and $400 for the Pro version. They also came out with the Arcade, which replaced the core version, and the Elite. When the Xbox One came out, which was a lot better than the original 360 was. Was a lot better than the original 360 was. After those consoles, in 2016 came the latest addition to the Xbox line, the Xbox One S. A year later came the Xbox One X. Finally, last year they introduced the best Xbox yet, the Series X. It is 2 times as powerful as the One X, plus it has 4K resolution. Still probably not as good as the KFC console, though. The most popular game from the Xbox was Halo 2. The 360 had Gears of War and brought the Kinect sensor, which helped promote the games Kinect Adventures, Dance Central, and Kinect Sports. For sure, one of the best games in history and for the Xbox One is Minecraft. Some other notable games are GTA 5, Cuphead, Rocket League. As for the One X, Star Wars Battlefront and NBA 2K 2021 were super popular. For the Series X, Xbox is soon to release Hogwarts Legacy.
Okay, next let's go to the specifications of technology in these 2 consoles. PS5 CPU, or Central Processing Unit, features a custom 8-core AMD known as Zen 2, which is clocked at 3.5 GHz. The PS4 CPU, named Jaguar, was much slower than the PS5 CPU. The Jaguar could hold 1.6 GHz, while the PS5's new one can almost hold double of that at 3.5 GHz. The GPU is a custom RDNA 2 based graphics engine with ray tracing acceleration capable of 10.3 teraflops. The PS4's capability was 1.8 teraflops, and the system memory is 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 with a 448 gigabytes per second bandwidth. The storage uses a custom 825 gigabyte SSD with a 5.5 gigabyte per second raw read bandwidth, which basically means really fast loading times compared to the PS4. PS5 game discs are Ultra Blu-ray discs with a capacity of 100 gigabytes. That's it for the PS5 specs explained.
The specs for the Xbox Series X are pretty similar to the PS5's, especially the CPU. The Xbox's CPU is built on top of the Zen 2 CPU and is an 8-core running on a 3.8 gigahertz and 3.6 SMT. The GPU for this console is really good. It is a custom RDNA GPU and from AMD, and it has 12 teraflops and 60 CU, which, might I add, the PS5 has. As for the graphic cards, they provide 50% better performance and ray tracing, which for people who don't know it, ray tracing is basically for people who don't know, ray tracing is basically just what? That makes no sense. Okay, for people who don't know, ray tracing basically just makes things look a lot better, more realistic, and makes things a little lighter, hence the ray part of ray tracing, since light is basically just rays. Something that makes the Series X better than the One X is because it takes 40 less seconds to load on the Series X than the One X. Now, I know 40 seconds is not a lot, but just think about it. You could already be mining for diamonds on Minecraft while your friend is loading their game on a slower console like the One X. This is mainly because they had switched over to SSD, more specifically a 1 TB NVMe SSD. On top of that, this console can transmit data 2.4 gigabytes a second raw. And 4.8 gigabytes a second condensed.
For a first round, Xbox Series X wins for faster loading speeds and better 4K ray tracing, which matters a lot. Sony almost won with bigger storage, as it could hold 16 gigabytes, unlike the Xbox at 4.8 gigabytes. Even though Sony had better storage and capacity and loading speeds, Microsoft definitely focused on quality.
Now, we will be talking about the durability of the consoles. The Xbox has a lot more durability than I thought it was going to be. The controller, well, it only lasts one time if you throw it on the ground. As for the actual console, it can take 8 hits from a decently sized mini fridge thrown at it and 1 stab from a pickaxe. So I'd say that's pretty durable.
So now we have the PS5. The controller didn't really surprise me how durable it actually was. It can take 7 throws on the ground, which is a lot when you compare it to Xbox One hit on the ground. Now for the PS5 console. It was so much more durable than the Series X. It can handle 1 hit from a Wi-Fi router, not joking, 9 hits from a Dami mini fridge, and 1 swing from a pickaxe before it died.
So I think it's pretty clear who's getting the point here for durability, the PS5. Lastly, Taylor will be showing us some gameplay on the 2 different consoles.
Okay, so here we are. We're going to be showing the PS5 gameplay and the option menu. We're just doing hands-on. And in the first 2 rounds, we just talked about the PS5 and Xbox. But this, we are going to actually show it. So we're just showing some gameplay right here. And this headset is amazing, by the way. Oh. Boom. Okay, so here we are, just playing some 2K, and the ray tracing is absolutely insane. The ray tracing is insane. You can see it. And the lighting is literally light. Lastly, unfortunately, the thing is that even though PS5 had amazing ray tracing, vibrations, and it felt like you were actually in the game, Xbox One was focusing on more of loading speeds and making it actually feel like a real game.
Thank you for watching the first episode of the STEM Expo 2021. If you would like to see more, please make sure to subscribe to our school's YouTube channel, and also remember to like this video. Bye.